Hey guys, just had this 06 Civic hybrid come in, hit a deer about 2 weeks ago. Just now got it in. Insurance company's totaled it, but they're going to send him a salvage title. And I'm going to just fix it while he's waiting on that, and then by the time he gets the salvage title in, he can have it inspected, because it'll be fixed by then. I'm going to have to put a hood on it, and also kick the fender out right here, pushed it out at the top. I can straighten all this back out, but I'll have to do a little body work right here. And the other side, I didn't notice this at first, but it's got a little bit of a kink right in there. I think I can work that back in. He's just wanting to save the car so he can get it back together and sell it. He's going to go, I think, buy a used car and just get rid of this whenever I can get it back to him. They're letting him keep the car, so he's just wanting to fix it and make it where he can sell it once he gets the title back. Broke the radiator. AC condenser is still pressurized, but it's bowed really bad. I'm going to replace it. I'm going to buy a used upper tie bar for it, and I may have to push this part of it back. This unbolts, but this part may be pushed in just slightly. Damage is slightly to the right here. It's mostly centered, but slightly to the right. I'm going to get this torn down. I know I need a grill, radiator condenser, tie bar, this clip, hood hinges and the latch. I found the upper tie bar with the hinge, the latch, and that clip. I believe I can get that clip pretty cheap from Honda, but I think it's going to come with it. Going to have to be careful around these high voltage lines for this, but I shouldn't have to go anywhere near any of that to do this job. But AC wouldn't kick on earlier. I thought maybe it lost the refrigerant, but it's still pressurized. So I'm not real sure why it's not coming on. It may have just been that it wasn't being commanded on for some reason. It's electrically driven on the rear, and it also has a belt. This belt runs down to just a typical clutch. So it can be run either electrically or mechanically from the front end, but should be a fairly simple repair. Also going to have to get these 4 labels under here, mostly because it's a hybrid and takes a special AC oil, and also I think there's a warning here for this is battery disposal and this is airbag, but just because with it being a hybrid, I want to put everything back on it just so everybody knows what to do if they ever work on this thing. Next owner and whoever else gets it to do some work on it. Car's in okay shape. It's got 255,000 miles on it, so that's why it was totaled. But a little damage back here. It's been there for a while. I worked with this guy, so I've seen that for a few years. It's been there for a long time. I'm going to try to save that fender and not have to paint it. I'm going to paint this one just because this is scarred. This hood came back and chewed it up when he opened it up. This door is okay. Gap's a little tight here, but I can push that back out. I'm going to save, I think, the bumper. I think this may have happened. I can see a crack in the paint here, and a little bit of deer hair right there in the cracks, but I'm not real sure that gouge was put in it when that happened. It may have. Deer hoof or something may have done that, but I'm just going to clean the bumper up really well and buff it, and I'm just going to touch these spots up right here and right here where it's not so obvious. There's no reason to rework this bumper or replace it. This car's just not worth it. I think they valued it at around $3,000. So we'll do a teardown real quick, get a parts list together. I'll come back when I got it taken apart and show you what all I got to get. Okay, it's about an hour and 10 minutes later. I've got everything off I'm going to take off of it. I've got the radiator out. I'm leaving the condenser. It's still charged, actually. I took the cap off here. Just puffed a little out to see if it was still charged. It is. But the condenser's got some major damage there, and it's bowed all the way across. I'm going to get a condenser, a radiator. This fan shroud is bad. It's broken from the top where it mounts to the radiator. The cowl that I took off, it was split all the way across the back. I'll show you that in a second. Now I've got the bottom of the windshield wiper on each side marked, so I know where the windshield wiper runs right on top of this tape. So I know where to put those back so I don't get those off and have them either running into the cowl or the windshield trim over there. You're gonna leave the bumper beam on, no reason to take that off. Just gonna work around it, drop the radiator and condenser in that way. This is pushed back a little bit. This is supposed to be flat, like this one, parallel to this edge. So it's closed up a little and it is pushed back some. I can see a little bit of a kink. I think right there is a kink. I have to pull that back and then try to pull that back with a slide hammer to get it to stay. This headlight was busted out, didn't realize that. But I did tell him I may find some things that I couldn't see. Broke that bracket out. Broke the one out of the bottom here where the bumper mount bolts to it. So I need to get that headlight. I'm getting both hinges. See, here's the fan shroud that's broken. Both the tabs are missing on the front. It should look like that with those two mounting points right there. These two are gone, and right in here is broken out. And I believe the wiring connector popped out of here also, but I don't think that's, yeah, it's just barely hanging on. But I'll get one of those from Honda. I think I can get just that, cheaper than I can get even a new aftermarket assembly. I'm going to test both fans, make sure they work before I do that. So I'll get just this shroud, if that fan still works. Here's the split in the cowl. See, it's split all along the back edge. I guess the deer laid here and just pushed this in. I could flip it over, get it back where it needs to be and just glue it together, and you really never even see it, but it'll take me 30 minutes to an hour to prep that and get it glued, held in position just right so it won't be visible. So if I can get one cheap enough, I'll just buy a used one. Speed this up. Let's see what else I got to get. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you, this thing has a transcooler. Got transcooler lines coming off the bottom here. A lot of the newer Civics don't have it like that. It's built into the, I think the transcooler is built into the cooling system on a little manifold mounted to the transmission, but these are actually hoses running into a tank. So I've capped them off so I don't spill oil everywhere. I'll take those caps off when I get the new one. Maybe it's got some caps on it too. I may just leave them in there so it won't spill, but I got to transfer the temperature sensor, hose assembly. New one will come with a plug, and all four of the bolts will go in the fans. That's where the big split was. So I'm going to get the radiator put in probably first so I can get some coolant in it and then work off of that. But I want to leave it up until I get this straight. I get the tie bar here. But another thing I learned years ago was keep some old spark plugs. So as soon as you pull this line off, you can kind of pinch it and just ram a spark plug in it. And I like to leave them elevated up to where they can't seep if they do leak. That saves all the transmission fluid. I'll still have to buy some because I lost the fluid that's in that tank. So I got to get a quart of CVT fluid. And another thing, since this is a hybrid, it uses a special AC oil. I think it's on this sticker here. Yeah, it says, let's see, I can focus on this sticker. It says, maybe I can get the focus, let's see. It doesn't like that. Anyway, it says SE10Y oil. There we go. That's a non-conductive oil because this compressor actually has two high voltage lines, or two or three I think, running in. These actually run down to it. And you can run it electrically, and it's a little over 200 volts. So if there's any of the conductive regular type PAG oil in the system, it can short that voltage to the case of the compressor and cause some bad issues. So since I am going to have to recharge this, I've got to get a brand new set of 134A gauges just to be able to charge it so I don't get any of the oil that's in my lines now into this system. So I'll just dedicate that to electric compressors and just have two separate sets now. I'm trying to think anything else I found. I think that's about it. I'm going to get a tie bar, radiator condenser, headlight, probably a cowl panel for the center section, fan shroud, hood, all four of those labels across there. See what else I got written down over here. I got to get some baby shoes here that came apart. I'm gluing those together. Glue the cowl panel if I can. CVT fluid, AC oil. That AC oil is pretty expensive. I think from Honda it's about $100 for just a 8-ounce bottle. But I'll get some aftermarket. Got to get Type 2 coolant for Honda. I think everything else is on there. I don't think there's anything else that I'm missing right now. I've got to straighten the fenders up. That shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to push this in. With this white paint being so weathered, I'm going to work that in, and you won't even see it really. He's not going to care, he's just selling it. I'm just going to get it realigned. But I've got to get the tie bar in there, get the front end square, get the hood down first, and get it centered. Then I can fit the fenders to that. Let's see, this side's not quite as bad. I don't think there's no kink at all there. I'll just get this realigned, pull it back. I'll open the door and probably knock this back with a block of wood or something on the mounting point. But I think that's it. I'll be back when I get some parts.